All right, Nick, if you could answer a few questions for me about using the Danielson rubrics in regards to professional growth, that would be great. So what is your dissatisfaction, or was your dissatisfaction with previous teacher evaluation models or processes?
Yeah, I think for me, it was always about the gray areas. There was a lot of unknowns with the level of performance for me as a teacher. I didn't know exactly what I was aiming for all the time because of the unclear targets. I knew what it said, but I didn't always know what it meant, the description in that. So probably just some of that unknowns for me that is difficult for somebody that wants to have a clear target.
Okay. And then what about, how does this model allow you to grow as a professional?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, the learning targets are clearly before me. Like I talked about, that's just something for me that I want to have in front of me. I know my students want that, and I want that too as an adult learner. And I also think anytime you're able to reflect with someone else, it makes the learning experience much more authentic. I know we really try and push that with our kids with the substantive conversation. I think that's a big piece for me too, was just that reflection piece in that conversation. And also for me, I think the rubrics, just that clear protocol and procedure, and just that standards and the criteria that I needed to hit were very clearly evident. So
good. What difference does it make to have a clear criteria, like you mentioned, when you reflect on your practice? So using the Danielson rubrics, for example.
Sure. I think about what we're doing here with our kids and standards-based grading, and we're presenting a target for our kids, and we lay out the layers below it for developing, and secured beginning. And I think about, for me, if we're asking our students to do that, that's something that I should be engaged into. And a clear target, it makes sense for our kids, it makes sense for us as teachers. So I think it just kind of fits.
Good. So think about the relationship with your principal. Talk a little bit about the relationship we've had through this professional growth model. What difference does it make to you when your principal uses those clear criteria to provide you with meaningful feedback?
Yeah, I think about, for us, it's always been, it's good to eliminate the subjectivity. There's that gray area I talked about. And anytime you get that rubric that's pretty clear cut, I think it just enhances and strengthens our communication. I think it's enabled us to have substantive conversations that are authentic, that we can both learn from. And that, especially for me, I think about myself as an individual. Ultimately I want to get better at what I'm doing, and if I can get better, it's helping my kids, it's helping our school, and ultimately, hopefully, it helps our future community and people as they go to be adults. So.
And it kind of sounds like it makes it more of a learner focus, both for students and adults. Previously it's more focused towards student learning. So okay, and then lastly, talk about the partnership between you and I during the reflection process as a result of that clear criteria.
Sure. Yeah, I think that process, I think it just kind of comes back to just kind of like I'm kind of answering the same question again, but it just comes back a lot to a blueprint for me. There's a target. I got my blueprint with the rubric. I can see the steps. I can see where I'm at, and I'm hard. Most teachers are hard on themselves naturally, so it allows you to have a subjective conversation about, no, here's really where you are and where we're going, and it really, like I said, it really benefits me because it makes me better and makes our school better. So,
well, thanks, Nick. I appreciate it.
Hey, you're welcome.
Have a good day.
You too.